that when you have a player come into a session, often my kind of first three questions are, when was your last time you perceived you felt good, you hit it well, and you moved well? And in some cases, I can actually use myself as a light example now. When did I last really feel good within my movement? When did I last feel pain-free? And then when did, for example, I kind of move and hit it good? It was actually for me back in about 2003, since we record this, kind of 21 years ago. So then you ask the question, okay, so what changed around that time to kind of move you away from moving well, feeling good, hitting it great? In my case, it actually went back to wisdom teeth being removed, which we know from some tutorials done through Brendan McLaughlin in the human performance section. We know how influential teeth are on our gait cycles and how our feet and our pelvis moves. And also for me then, actually going to a phase at that point in time, hitting lots of balls off mats. Now, not in any way was the mat the issue, as far as often it's blame, for example, things like wrist pain. What we know is the surface is invariably the issue. It's the movement that creates the problem, not the surface. The surface either speeds up the issue or just simply then kind of delays the issue. It doesn't create the issue. If the wrist is moving well, loosely speaking, you can kind of play off hard mud if you have to, because it's moving in such a nice way, and then really absorb those forces being exposed to. But in my case, going from kind of very links turf, as I was at that moment in time, to these kind of mats, I learned to kind of pick it very cleanly because there was an environmental change. So my movements adjusted based on how I perceived the club had to move to avoid raw excessive compression, excessive kind of downward connection. I learned to pick the ball off that kind of very hard mat. So it was around about that time that I really started to sustain my shoulder issue and my neck issue, and ironically in my case also a kind of foot issue. So you've got to look at those three questions. And really I'd encourage all people to ask players that, when was the last time you perceived you moved well, you hit it well, and you felt well? And then really what changed, or did something happen around that point in time to move you away from moving well, hitting good, and feeling good? In my case, it was a wisdom tooth removal and also a change in the environment.